What is going on, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good and staying safe. Now, due to this cloud of uncertainty surrounding the pandemic, I'm seeing a lot of content flooding the internet of how to make money during this time. Now, this is hardly surprising because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that are particularly concerned about their income and maybe especially worried about when or where their next paycheck will be coming from, as a lot of people are being furloughed out of their jobs and also unemployment numbers are increasing. Now, I've been going through some of this content of how to make money, but I just think a lot of the ideas are particularly limited, suggesting you'll be able to make millions by just following the simple steps outlined. Or alternatively, they're just quite unreliable sources of income that won't actually generate you enough income for it to be a viable solution. And honestly, I just don't think they're worth bothering with. So for example, doing online surveys and website testing, it seems like quite an easy way of making money, but the fact is the amount of time you have to put in compared to how much you're actually earning just isn't really worth it in my opinion. So for these reasons, I thought I'd put together my own list for you guys of basically the best sorts of businesses that you can start during these times. Now, before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell so that you never miss a video. But that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so first on the list is online freelance work. So doing online freelance work is basically a good way of utilising your skills that you already have, and it allows you to do paid work without actually having to go all out and starting up a business. So it makes it really easy and accessible to get into. So this might be things like graphic design, video editing, website design, translation, voiceover, and so many more. So one of the easiest ways to find freelance work is using websites like Fiverr, where you basically put up a listing of what service you're offering and a price that you're asking for, and then you just have to wait for the work to come in. Fiverr is just one of many websites that you can look at to get freelance work, and if you have a particular niche that you're working in, there are most likely going to be more specific websites for you to advertise your skills in that particular niche. So hopefully now you guys can think about what skills you can offer and how you can monetize them. But it's also really important to remember that you need to offer a service that there's actually a market for, so that you can actually get some work. Now, websites like Fiverr really split opinions, as on one hand it gives a lot more people a lot more opportunity to get work and generate an income online, but some see it to devalue the industries that you're actually working in. So this is a problem because a lot of people actually undervalue their skills on these sorts of websites, which undercuts a lot of professionals at a point where they just can't compete, and the person undercutting it isn't going to be able to make a sustainable income. However, with all this considered, I still think there's a huge amount of opportunity. As with anything, if you produce good quality work and the client is happy, you're more likely to get repeat business. And with this repeat business, they might be happy to pay more as they know that they'll be getting a good quality product at the end of it. And from getting this repeat business, there's potential to build a really strong relationship with these particular clients, which could lead to a long-term partnership with a sustainable income. So for example, if a YouTuber is looking for a video editor, Fiverr might be a good place to look and test some people out. But if they found a particular individual who outshined the rest, delivered the product on time, and had a competitive price, they're highly likely to keep bringing them all of their video editing work, as they know they'll be getting a good product at the end of it. And it just shows how one good freelance job could actually lead to a more business-like relationship, where both parties benefit. So the next idea is online classes. So this one's pretty simple and quite similar to freelance work in a way, as it allows you to utilise your skills, but in a slightly different way, where rather than doing paid work, you're actually going to be teaching others your particular skill through an online class. Now this one's particularly good during these times, as there's actually really high demand for online classes, as a lot of people are in lockdown or self-isolating, and they want to still be able to learn some skills and take part in classes during these times. So these online video classes are perfect. Now the great thing is all of this can be done from the comfort of your own home, and all you need is an internet connection and a computer, and you can do it through video conferencing apps like Zoom to teach your clients whatever it is you're offering in your class. Now these classes could be on a whole range of different things, but some examples could be things like yoga classes, cooking, painting, music lessons, school tutoring, and many more. But what it really comes down to is just thinking about what skills you can offer and whether or not there's a demand for it, and then just getting yourself out there and advertising your classes online. So the next idea is creating an online course. So this basically takes the same idea of online classes, but to the next level. So rather than providing live teaching sessions, you'll actually put together an entire training package that can be purchased and used at any time. So the good thing about this is that you can actually go into more detail about whatever it is you're teaching, as quite often online classes are limited due to the time constraints. So with your training course, you can actually go into all the detail you need to, so that your client has all the information that they need, which may not be able to get across during a 1-hour teaching session. Another great thing about online classes from the client's point of view is that they can actually access it at any point. So basically there's no scheduling issues. But the thing that really makes online courses such a good way of making money is that you only need to do the work the once. So it will take a lot more time and consideration to produce an entire course. However, once it's completed, it will basically generate you passive income from that point going forward, rather than having to teach different people the same thing over and over again, which eats into more of your own time. But the thing that I think is important to remember is once you've created your online course, it's still going to use up some of your time going forward, where you might have to tweak the course to make sure that it's all still relevant information. And I think this is so important because you should always make sure that the information that you're teaching is up to date and relevant, and you should take pride and care in what you're actually producing. So the next on the list is reselling or flipping. If you don't know what reselling or flipping are, it's basically the idea of buying something with the intention of selling it on for a higher price to make a profit. And it can be done in a whole range of different sectors, for example clothes, jewellery, cars, art, watches and many more. But the reason you can actually make money from buying and reselling something is all down to supply and demand, where the product that you'll be buying is in some way sought after and has a higher demand compared to the supply available. So this can be done in two main ways, by either getting your hands on limited products that you buy for the retail price and then selling them over the retail price, or looking for products that you can buy that are actually under the market value and then you sell them on to someone else at around the market value. So for example, this could be buying things in discounted shops and then selling them on at around the retail price. Now I think this is such a good way of making a bit of extra money, as it's so easy to do, and with a bit of research you can probably find products that you find interesting to buy and resell. But the great thing about it is that the startup cost is so low, as you only need to invest as much money as it costs to buy that first item that you're planning on reselling, and it's possible to buy and sell these items completely online. Now I've got a full video on reselling, which I'll leave in the description below, if you're interested in learning more about reselling and exactly how I do it. So the next thing you could do is taking businesses online. Now during these times, a lot of businesses that may have previously operated in purely a physical sense, they might now need to shift from having their physical operations running to having an online presence as well, or instead. And this is basically because of the lockdown and social distancing affecting businesses by forcing them to close their doors for the time being. So for these small businesses that need to create an online presence, they might need things like websites, social media accounts, and online advertisements. So this is where the opportunity arises for you if you have skills in any of these areas, as potentially there's a lot of money to be made by taking these businesses online. So an easy way of finding work like this is by simply searching for local businesses around your area and searching them up online to see if they have an online presence already. And if they don't, or you don't think their website's up to scratch, you can literally just directly contact them and offer your services and explain how you could help their business out by creating an online presence for them. Whether that may be a revamped website, or a social media account handled by you, or something else that you could think of. But again, what it comes down to is thinking about the skills that you have, what you can offer, and then selling the client how your input will be able to help their business out. Now you might think that this won't work because it's a short-term solution and eventually these shops will be able to open their doors again to the public. However, it's becoming increasingly important to have an online presence in whatever business you're in. So these services that you're offering today might actually become a key part of how their business operates in the future. Okay, so the next on the list is opening a dropshipping store. So if you don't know what dropshipping is, it's basically a fulfillment method for retail businesses to sell products to their customers without the seller ever having to actually come into contact with the product itself. So rather than the traditional method of buying stock in bulk from a manufacturer to then sell on as individual units at a higher price, a dropshipping store won't actually purchase any stock at all. And instead the business almost runs entirely through the e-commerce site, where every time a sale's made, the actual manufacturer will ship the item directly to the customer, which cuts out a lot of hassle from the fulfillment point of view, but it also massively reduces risk by never having to buy stock in bulk and having that chance that it might not sell. So this frees up an awful lot of time not having to worry about sending items, so it allows you to focus all of your time on branding and marketing. Now people usually dropship items that come from Chinese factories, as a lot of Chinese manufacturers do actually offer dropshipping as a service. And because the products are coming from Chinese manufacturers, the price per unit is usually quite low, so you can make a profit by marking up the price and selling it on to your customer for that higher price. So the beauty of dropshipping is that it's actually so easy to get into, and it takes a whole lot of risk out of starting up a new business, as there are almost no upfront costs. And also once the business is established and it's generating good monthly revenue, it doesn't use up a lot of your time going forward, so you can almost take a step back and allow the business to generate you passive income. Now you might think that dropshipping from China isn't a viable way of making money anymore due to reasons surrounding the pandemic. However, China is mostly back open for business and they are still shipping products. So you just have to make sure to find a manufacturer that is still shipping products. So dropshipping really is a great way of making an extra income, and in a lot of cases it's the first step in generating enough sales to create a really successful brand. Next on the list is affiliate marketing. Now you probably already know what affiliate marketing is. It's basically where companies incentivize individuals to refer their friends and connections to a product or service that the company offers. And the incentive is usually for every successful referral that you make, you'll earn a commission for this referral. Now you can find affiliate schemes in a whole range of different markets, but I think it's really important to find something that you actually understand personally and actually think is a genuinely good product. because essentially you're going to be selling this product, so it's important that you understand it and actually believe in it. But the main limitation of affiliate marketing is that you need to be able to reach a large volume of people who you can promote the product to, so this can sometimes be the most challenging part. So you see a lot of celebrities and internet influencers that take part in affiliate schemes where they get paid to promote a particular product. So if you don't already have a network of followers, one way you could approach it is by starting a YouTube channel and creating unboxing or review videos on items that you'll be buying anyway. So it's not going to be costing you anything to create the videos as you're buying the items anyway. And by creating the content, you might be able to generate a large number of views over time. And to generate income from this through an affiliate scheme, you can simply set up an Amazon affiliate link for that particular product that you're reviewing or unboxing. So every time that someone watches your video and clicks through the link and purchases the product, you'll actually be getting a commission for that sale. So you might think that this sounds unrealistic, but these sorts of videos are actually really easy to make and do generate a lot of views from people who are on the verge of buying the product anyway. So the likelihood of them watching your video and then clicking on the link is highly likely. So obviously doing this will require a bit of time up front, but the great thing is once you made the content, you can just sit back and wait for the commissions to come in. Now obviously there's a lot of different types of affiliate marketing, and that's just one example, but I really would just suggest sticking to what you know and what you feel comfortable with actually selling to people. Okay, so next on the list is investing in the stock market. So this may not be something that you know an awful lot about at this point, but I genuinely think that investing in the stock market is one of the best ways you can generate more income each month. Now a lot of people are scared by the idea of investing in the stock market, which is fair as there is potential for you to lose your money and for whatever it is you invest in to go down in value. But if you're investing long term, it's actually a lot less risky than you might think. So if we look at the US stock market as an example, so the S&P 500 is an index comprised of the 500 largest US companies listed on the stock exchange. On average, the S&P 500 increases in value by between 8 and 10% each year. But obviously because of market fluctuations and crashes, some years it might actually do better than this, but others it might do a lot worse and you may even lose money for that year. And this seems quite likely in 2020 due to the pandemic crash. So this is basically why it's so important to invest long term, as averaging over a number of years you should be able to make a good return, rather than trying to make short-term trades and trying to time the market perfectly. So to start investing in the stock market, the first thing you need to do is set up a brokerage account with something like AJ Bell, Hargreaves Lansdown or Freetrade, but there's loads out there and you can find one that suits you. And then so to get in on the action, if you wanted to invest in the S&P 500, all you need to do is invest in an S&P 500 tracking fund. And there are lots of different ones available, but one example would be the iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, which is designed to track the S&P 500. So you can hopefully start generating that 8 to 10% a year in growth and start making some money. Now there's a particularly good opportunity to invest in the stock market at this time due to the recent crash caused by the pandemic, as it's created a large margin for the market to recover. And from looking at previous patterns, the stock market in general does tend to crash and recover over time, making this particular crash a good buying opportunity. In my view, investing is such a great thing to understand, because once you feel comfortable with how you're investing, all you need to do to scale up to increase your potential profits is to invest with a higher amount of capital. So once you've learned how to do it with a small amount of money, it's really easy to scale up. So the last on the list is to start creating online content. So this is definitely more of a long-term strategy, but now is as good a time as any to get into the game and start creating some content. So this could be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or another social media site. But the great thing about these social media platforms is that there's huge potential, because once you've got an audience for your content, it's quite easy to start generating income from this. And this could be through ad revenue, collaborations, or affiliate marketing, as we talked about already. But the thing to just think about if you want to start creating content is to just think about whether or not there's an audience for the content that you're creating, and whether or not there's potential for growth. Because in reality, if you're creating content that no one's ever going to want to look at or watch, the likelihood of you being able to generate income from this is very low. So you just need to spend a little bit of time thinking up an idea of what sort of content you could create. But there we have it, that does it for today guys. Hopefully that gives you all a few more ideas on how you can make a bit of extra money or start a new business. Now if you did make it this far, thank you so much for watching. And if you did enjoy it or feel like you learned something new, I'd really appreciate it if you could smash that like button, as it really helps me out. And if you enjoy this sort of content and want to see more videos on personal finance, how to save money and how to make extra money, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell so you never miss a video. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Have you got any side hustles going at the moment, or are you planning on starting a new business? Drop them in the comments, and if you have any other questions, I'll make sure to respond to all of you. But that does it for today guys, take it easy and keep saving.